Could this be Spirit Halloween's best year ever? Let's find out. Well, we're officially about halfway through summer, and I've done a lot, like build props for my haunted house. That's about it. Okay, let's talk about the theme. So if you haven't heard yet, the Spirit Halloween 2025 theme will be a rehash of the 2015 Spirit Station Z. So basically, the theme is a creepy train station with lots of animatronic. We're talking clowns, rats, that one doll from Squid Game? Yeah, you heard me right. Young-Hee is going to be an animatronic this year, but we'll get into that later. Let's talk about the 4 main animatronics. Spirit has released 4 main animatronics that are on the Spirit side as of right now, and we have a ton more. I'll get to that in a minute. First of all, we have Mutant Sewer Rat. Yep, we got this guy. Mutant Sewer Rat. This thing is awesome. He's about 4 feet tall, and he comes in at 230 United States dollars, which in my opinion is way too much. But that is basically my only con for Mutant Sewer Rat this year. His clothes are very detailed, coming in at this greenish brown color with green creepy cloth. It's very detailed and very intricate. I also enjoy his head sculpt. It's very detailed and he has a lot of these scars. He does of course remind me of Master Splinter from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The one thing that I do think is quite odd is this little support beam. He only has 1 pole going to his mechanism instead of 2 leg poles. I wonder if this was because the legs are too small, or if they just wanted to not waste as much material. But that wouldn't explain why he would be $230, as this guy only turns his head. To be fair, his mouth does move, but overall, I think it's a little bit too much. His audio is very good though, it fits him and suits him very well, and I thoroughly enjoy it. Overall, Mutant Sewer Rat is a really good animatronic this year, and I hope to see him in stores very soon. Next up, we have Two-Faced Teddy. Two-Faced Teddy is a 6-foot-tall clown animatronic, and he just happens to be our budget animatronic for this year. He comes in at 130 United States dollars, and I think that's a really good deal. There are a couple cons, such as the fact that he reuses pieces from other animatronics, as it would cost a lot more to sculpt a new head and come up with new parts for an entire animatronic. As for the reused parts, he reuses a lot of Silent and Deadly's frame, and he reuses Poor George's head from 2023. But I do think they changed everything up enough to where it does look kind of original. Obviously, to all the prop collectors out there, we will realize that it is Poor George's head, but to everybody else, nobody's gonna know the difference. Overall, Two-Faced Teddy's a really great animatronic, and he is 6 feet tall. Honestly, when I first saw his photos, I thought he might be around 5 feet because of the price, but you're actually getting a lot. He has a really unique color scheme, which is black and orange, which we have not seen on very many clowns. Overall, Two-Faced Teddy is a really good animatronic this year, so let's get started talking about Night Owl. Mind if I call him Owl Beast? Because when we initially got his shipping info, he was titled Owl Beast, so I might end up calling him Owl Beast just in general, due to the fact that it is ingrained in my brain. Okay, let's just say Night Owl sucks. Back up. Night Owl's pretty good, but his cons outweigh the pros. First of all, I'd like to point out something that End of the Road Haunt said, and that is that his wings look very flimsy. They look like with about 5 miles an hour of wind, they will snap and break immediately. Secondly, his head looks very plastic. I mean, obviously it is, but it looks and reminds me of a 6-foot-tall posable skeleton. What I'm trying to say is, it doesn't look that original, and the paint job is very lackluster. His clothing's pretty cool, and I'm quite sure that he uses Wanda Wilbur's feet from last year. Owl Beast comes in at the terrible price of 250 United States dollars, but overall, I really just don't enjoy this animatronic. I do have to say it has grown on me due to its height. Owl Beast is 6 feet tall, and I'm pretty sure 6 feet wide, or it might have been 5 feet. If you're looking at the stock video, Owl Beast looks tiny, but once you realize that Owl Beast is actually 6 feet tall, it's very astonishing. To me, it was kind of like Lucky Bottoms, in the fact that when I saw Lucky Bottoms in the video, I thought he was very small, and once I got him I realized he was a lot bigger. Well, that's about it for Night Owl. He's not my favorite, but it is definitely a cool animatronic. Next up, we have our second official return since Silent and Deadly, and that would be Electrified Corpse. Electrified Corpse is the first official return since Silent and Deadly, and he's a pretty good one. Electrified Corpse comes in at 150 United States dollars, and I think that's a pretty good deal. The one thing that is disappointing me a lot about this animatronic is they got rid of the gore piece. When he first came out, he had this cool stump gore piece that was on his severed arm. This year, it is nowhere to be found. I wonder if they left it out for budget reasons, but his price did go up, so I doubt that's it. It would have been so easy for Spirit to vacuum form a little stump and paint it red, but they didn't. That's my only con with this prop. Oh, and the fact that he doesn't have as much grime as the original. But that's about it. He is really cool, and I can tell that his head moves a lot faster than it originally did, but overall, Electrified Corpse is exactly the same as when he first came out, and I think he is really cool. Now we get to the part that I haven't scripted, cause I'm lazy. So if a lot of this falls into shambles, I apologize. First of all, we have Headcase Harry. Initially, I thought Headcase Harry was that zombie mad scientist looking thing that we got in the Spirit Halloween Madison Scare Park teaser. But that's not true. It's actually spine-twisting grandma? But we'll get to that in a minute. So Headcase Harry is actually a clown, and I've heard from a couple people that he is going to be a gory prop. I'm not 100% sure on that, but that is what I have heard. Headcase Harry is going to come in with this cool vintage color scheme. I'm pretty sure he's going to be more of like a yellowish off-white tone, but that's just what I see from this very blurry, grainy photo. I will not be talking about these animatronics as much as the previous four, due to the fact that the photos of them are not as detailed. Next up, we have Crypt Countess. We know nothing about Crypt Countess yet. Apparently, there's a photo floating around that some people have, but they're refusing to release it, and I'm very mad. All we have is this blurry version of the photo, apparently, and this also has Fire Demon, which is making me very mad, because these two animatronics are two I would like to see. Other than that, let's get on to the next one, which is Bullseye. Bullseye is a very colorful clown with his head sticking through a bullseye. It's kind of a cartoony reference, and I really like the fact that they're aiming for more cartoony props. I hope that he looks more like a vintage clown instead of like a newer, plasticky, cheap-looking clown, but I probably will like him nonetheless. Next up, we have Monkey Business, which is one of my most anticipated this year, due to the fact that I have a room in my haunt that he will fit in perfectly. So, this room in my haunt is called the Monty Room, or the Animal Storage Room, and it is themed to a bunch of circus animals being stored in this back room. And Monkey Business is nothing but that. Monkey Business resembles a black and white clown holding a cage with a monkey in it. I'm really excited to see if this monkey flails around in the cage or what their animation is. I'm saying there because it does kind of come with two props. Overall, I'm really excited to see what Monkey Business looks like, but let's get into Trixie. We don't know anything about Trixie yet. We have a very blurry photo of her, and apparently she's holding a head, but it kind of looks like a trick-or-treat bag to me. That also ties in with this next animatronic, which is Trick-or-Treat Pete. Trick-or-Treat Pete is also a trick-or-treater, apparently, and he's a clown. So we actually do have a lot of clowns this year. We have 4, and I'll get to the rest of them. Trick-or-Treat Pete is also a trick-or-treater, apparently. Trick-or-Treat Pete is wearing a top hat, apparently, from all these photos, and he's holding a trick-or-treat bag, apparently. So I don't know how to feel about him, but I think if Trixie is also holding a bag, Trick-or-Treat Pete and Trixie will be in the same section of the theme. Other than that, we have a new Santa Claus Art the Clown. I'm very excited to see what this guy's audio is. If it comes with Christmas music, that would be insane. And if you can't tell from this photo, it does not look like he's holding his horn in his right hand. It seems to be an axe. I'm very excited to see if he is a reskin of last year's Art the Clown, or if he is a brand new animatronic. Next up we have Backbend Bonnie. Now Backbend Bonnie is apparently pneumatic. You heard that right. Backbend Bonnie might be pneumatic. The reason we think Backbend Bonnie's pneumatic is because we heard from Fun.com Tom, aka the guy from all of the Halloween costumes videos, that Backbend Bonnie was going to be pneumatic, or at least he thinks. Apparently her jump scare's really fast, and I'm excited to see what she looks like. She obviously is sporting a red dress, and she has some kind of pendant on a necklace. She also has black hair, which is very interesting. She's more of a gothic vampire prop. Next up, we talk about the one that I was mentioning in the beginning, which is Spine Twisting Grandma. Spine Twisting Grandma's design changed a lot since the concept art. She now has a pink dress, and she doesn't move her mouth, apparently. The reason I don't think she moves her mouth is because Spine Twisting Grandma is supposedly the mad scientist looking prop that we got in the Madison Scare Park teaser. This would make sense. I think that head could definitely fit a grandma. I just picture it on a mad scientist. But apparently her jump scare is also very fast, and I'm excited to see what she looks like. Next up we have Fire Demon. I initially thought Fire Demon was a prototype hanging prop that we got a long time ago. Apparently there were two versions of this hanging prop. There was a standing version and a hanging version. But I'm not too sure about that. It seems that Fire Demon is a totally different prop, and I'm very excited to see what he looks like. As you can kind of tell from this photo, he seems to be holding a pitchfork, which I'm very excited to see. I'm also excited to see his animation, and I'm kind of hoping he has fog capabilities. One of my good friends had a very good idea, and that was that, what if it was a Rising Doll reskin, and it rose up, his hands were facing down, like his palms, and then his hands rotated, and fire blasted out of his hands. Next up we have Lantern Keeper. Lantern Keeper, we thought would initially be a Reaper, but he's not. He's a Scarecrow. My only problem with him is his head. His head and hat are kind of weird in the fact that it looks like a Pan-Asian prop. If you don't know who Pan-Asian is a company that mainly produces for Home Depot, but occasionally they'll produce animatronics for Spirit Halloween. I've also heard that he could be a Nibbles reskin, which I would like to see. He could definitely lift the lantern up and down, and he could have head tracking motion, but I'm not too sure. But honestly, I think his head and hat look very cheap, and they look like that new Home Depot pumpkin prop we have this year. Hopefully he isn't too much, and he does fit in with a lot of people's price range, but overall he does look very good from this photo. Sinister Strawman looks awesome! I like his hat. His hat resembles some kind of scarecrow witch hat, which I do enjoy a lot. Other than that, we don't know anything else except for the fact that he is a Mr. Dark reskin. Next up we have Valick. Valick was one that wasn't released officially, but we do have Valick's demo video. Alright, so Valick's a really cool prop. I like that Valick has a scissor mechanism, and Valick jumps out about 14 inches, but I thought that she would jump out a lot further. I'm not too disappointed, and I'm hoping that she looks a lot cooler in stores. I like the fact that it looks like she's praying, and then she jumps up and spreads her arms. But overall, I really like the amount of detail they put into her. She kind of looks like the Poison Props Art the Clown head sculpt, but I'm not complaining. That thing's sick. The next prop is very, very unexpected. That's right, we're getting a Young-Hee animatronic from Squid Game. You know that big doll from Red Light, Green Light? Yeah, that thing. I was not expecting that this year. I was expecting a Five Nights at Freddy's Freddy Fazbear animatronic, but we did not get that. Instead, we get a supposedly 10-foot-tall Young-Hee that is $700? Mind how loud that was. I'm just very confused. Apparently, there's only going to be one of these animatronics per store, but that's just what I've heard. It would make a lot of sense due to the fact that I don't think Spirit would sell these like hotcakes. I think they would sell like garbage, especially if it's coming in at $700. Overall, from the photos we have, it looks very accurate to the show, and I do enjoy this prop a lot. Next up, last but not least, we have a Jack the Reaper animatronic this year. I have one question, and that is, Did they have to get licensing? I know they licensed their own character, but did they have to go to the copyright office and ask if they could have permission for their own character? I doubt it, but I honestly think this prop looks really cool. It reminds me of a lot of the floating Home Depot props due to the fact that it does have one pull. And I'm very curious to see Jack's animation. I'm hoping he's somewhat servo and maybe has an eye that looks around. I know that in Jack the Reaper's backstory, he was a cursed soul who wasn't able to talk, and if he did, he would get banished to some realm. It was something along the lines of that. I'm hoping that his audio includes the Spirit Halloween intro music. I'm talking about this one. But yeah, honestly, I do think Jack looks awesome. And obviously, we can't tell if it is Jack the Reaper, but it really looks like Jack the Reaper. And from what people are saying, and people that work at Spirit, it's supposed to be Jack the Reaper. I'm not gonna lie, almost none of these props fit the theme. So let's get into the themes. Honestly, I like the amount of detail and creativity they're putting into the themes this year. We have this one meme image of the theme, and every prop is Two-Faced Teddy. I'm speculating that this wasn't fan-made, but that it is an actual 3D model that they used in the teaser videos. So, I'm very curious to see if this meme ends up being what the theme looks like. And if so, the theme looks awesome. If you look in the leaked photo of Valick, you can see that there is train tracks right next to Valick, and it looks really nice. Then you have the wall that the train crashed through, and you have the zombie raccoon. Overall, the theme looks awesome, and I really do enjoy it. So yeah, this theme's different. All the props look solid, and if their setups and stores actually look like the manuals, I'm going to be really excited. Let me know in the comments which one you're most hyped for. Or if you're like me and already mentally arranging your haunt to make space for Young-Hee. So I'll post more stuff such as walkthroughs, haunt builds, and store tours as we get closer to the season. Well, anyways guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed, and as always, stay spooky.